Each and every Monday, we get to say hello to the one and only Hall of Famer, the playmaker, Michael Irvin, joins us on Damon and Ratto. No Ray Ratto again this Monday. Our pal Larry Krueger is in once again. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. That did not go according to plan for the 49ers in Atlanta. And down 2 touchdowns, Michael, they ran what could only be described as a whistling through the graveyard level of urgency that was nowhere to be found. They weren't even going no huddle, and they ran an 80-yard, 16-play, 8-minute-long drive that ended up with a turnover on downs when they were down 2 touchdowns. Where's the urgency? Where is the urgency?
Listen, and I'm serious to it, and I'm gonna say this to you, and I promise you on everything. I felt something when I was looking at this game. And I remember last week listening to them talk about how Kyle Pitts' hamstring is really feeling better now, and he's really ready to go, and he's looking forward to this game. Then I would hear about injuries over in San Francisco. Man, because Atlanta got a lot of good young talent. They're just not a real good team that can consistently make plays. But if you let them, they can sneak you. I just had a feeling this was going to happen, is what I'm saying, and I didn't have enough gall to say it. Or you can take out a G and put a B there and whatever. Well, you know what I mean. I just didn't have enough. But I felt that. I really did feel it. I felt this was going to happen.
Well, it's funny, Larry and I, on Friday when we were setting up this game, we had people calling in and saying, look, you guys are way overselling the Atlanta Falcons. This team, they're the only team in the NFL to cover, but they're not going to beat the 49ers. And what they did, Michael, they beat the 49ers with their own medicine. I mean, everything Kyle Shanahan wants his offense to be, the Falcons were.
Yeah, they got something, boy. I'm telling you, that is a Drake London kid, and I don't know, and I hope things, and I know we're talking about the game here, and I hope things work out with the other kid, with the guy, I forgot his last name, with the gambling issue.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. I hope things work out with him, but if they get all of that talent back, and then they'll find them a young quarterback. So I'm just saying, yeah, I know you feel bad about that loss, but boy, that's Atlanta. I say it this way: Atlanta's going to trick a lot of people this year. They're going to trick a lot of people this year. I guarantee it.
No question. And Mariota played the game of his life. I mean, he absolutely was fantastic, Michael. I got to ask you, though, you were on some of the best teams maybe this league's ever seen. And so there were probably plenty of games in September and October in the 90s where you guys just kind of rolled your jocks out there and weren't on your A game and still beat teams. When you play in NFC Championship games and you play in Super Bowls and you coach in those things, does it make some of these early season, is it hard to get it dialed up for regular season football? I'm just trying to look for why the 49ers would seemingly lack such urgency in this game. It was almost as if it didn't matter, or it was like they were up 14 points instead of down.
Right. And you start looking at the whole journey now, and they're thinking, hey, you got these injuries, You're turning through the first quarter of the season. You're coming out of the first quarter, you have injuries, and you're in a good spot. You see what the Rams are doing. You see what the teams that are in your division are doing. You just get caught up right here. You start saying, okay, boy, we're in a good position. Well, you got your quarterback that had been there before. Yeah, you can get caught slipping, and you got caught slipping. But I'm serious. I just think it's more that's a talented team that's going to fool some people, that's going to mess up and shock some people this year. Now, so honestly, bad game. You let one get away, and it may cost you later on. But D, when you look at the NFC, it's what we were arguing about on First Take too. I said, yeah, Dallas lost to Philly, but the NFC, when you look at what Tom Brady looks like, what Green Bay looks like, you can take that loss and say, okay, we still got a great shot. It's a great shot to come out of that NFC, because I don't know if the old guards, the Tampas, and Aaron Rodgers can get it back together.
Hey, Michael, I mean, if you're telling me that the 49ers got nowhere to go but getting healthier as the year goes along here, and no one but Philadelphia is separating itself from the conference, I'd believe you. I could see how that would happen.
You match up well with Dallas, and you match up well with Dallas. That's why I didn't want you. That's why I didn't want to play them last year, because if you're gonna run right at Dallas, because once you get sacked back, you run right at Dallas, you can slow down that pass rusher. You can slow them down, and you match up so well, and you're physical. You match up well there. Yes, yeah, you'll be right back in it. It'll be right back in this thing. I'm telling you, it's wide open.
Well,
I'm excited.
Here's the thing. It's hard to be optimistic with Kansas City coming up next on the schedule, and the Chiefs are going to be in here licking their wounds after a home loss. So I would expect the Niners to maybe even get their doors blown off of them, because I just do not think that they can keep up with Kansas City if Andy Reid comes in here a little angry. So we'll see if they can get back on the horse.
How healthy is that defense going to be?
Probably not much healthier than it was this past week.
They'll have Bosa. They'll have Bosa.
Because I believe that you could play with them. Man, Patrick Mahomes is something different, and it's so funny. It's so funny. You watching Patrick Mahomes. Hey, what's up, my man? You watching Josh Allen, dude. They remind me so much, really, dude, and break out all those Peyton Manning's and Tom Brady's comparison, and Patrick now is winning with the tight end and the running back. That's how Tom Brady won all of those years, tight end and running back with unknown receivers, 2 and 3 receivers, and he still won because he played the game above his shoulders. Patrick Mahomes plays the game above his shoulders, but he also added all of this little spinning around and taking time out while he dancing in the backfield and then finding people, all these different arm angles. So if you're playing with a number 2 and a number 3 receiver, all of this he's doing, he's giving them second and third chances to get open and make plays. I'm doing this interview at a gas station, right? I got everybody stop filming me. Why? What's up, guys? Because I'm sitting out talking to you, right?
There you go. What I'm saying? You're a man about town.
Right. But it's a different game now. But now, if you can be physical with Kansas City, you got a shot. You just got to be physical, and somehow you got to contain Patrick Mahomes, because it ain't on the back end. It's that tight end and what he does that is so phenomenal. It's just so phenomenal. And for me, Josh Allen is a lot like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning played on the outside with wide receivers. Josh Allen did such a great job with Stephon Diggs, and now Gabe Davis and everything. Peyton had Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne, and now we got these guys battling again. But now, I do believe whichever one of those guys get to the Super Bowl, they'll probably win it, even over any NFC team. I do believe that.
Michael Irvin here on 95.7 The Game. So over the years, even in the down years of 49ers football, one of the things that you've said, one of the things that Brian Baldinger of NFL Network has always said, that even when things were going wrong for the 49ers, other coaches held Kyle Shanahan's running game in such high regard that the only team that every coach in the NFL was studying was the 49ers and that running game. Everyone was looking to improve their own running game by stealing from Kyle's successful model. Has so much thievery happened that Kyle's not surprising anyone anymore? What happens when the league catches up to your advantage, and do you think that could be in play here for the Niners?
Yes and no. Now, remember if you got the mad scientist who designs and who designs these disguising plays and these different running plays that always have success, you got the mad scientist. So he'll continue to design. Yeah, people continue to copy. And then when they copy, what happens is then defenses get a chance to practice against it, and that's what you're talking about. Is that at some point the people will catch up with it? I don't think that'll happen. That's what the math scientists say. It keeps evolving. This thing's been like this since his dad's been coaching. Remember, his dad never was putting anybody in this run game and getting Clint Portis and all those guys and filling them in and coming up with big yards. So yeah, you can learn some things, and they've been learning things. But when you get the mad scientists, you got the mad scientists.
You know, it's one of the names that I kept hearing in the last couple of weeks. People talking about Kyle Shanahan. They're comparing him a lot to Norv Turner, who obviously you know well. In your opinion, why was Norv such an incredible offensive coordinator, but then just really outside of a season or two didn't have that kind of success as a head coach? Is there anything that you can point to since you played for him?
Well, first of all, I thought Norv was a brilliant coach, a brilliant man. I can't tell you the things. I learned so much from him, and I still talk to him to this day. And I ask him about what does he see, what's going on in the league. But now, when you start going from an offensive coordinator to a head coach, defensive coordinator to a head coach, is a hell of a step. You got to look at the organizations you took over, Washington and all of that stuff. And even though you can say, hey, I can be great at controlling this offense, now I got to control the whole team. What worked when I'm offensive coordinator, you got a guy like me who you can feed, you can get to a receiver and a quarterback and maybe lead your whole offense. Now defense is different. You got a special teams. It's a lot on it. And very few of them can do it all well. Very few of them can do it all well. I thought Noah would be a great head coach. I had an opportunity if he just had. He had him a Michael Irvin. He was trying to get him a Michael Irvin with the guys he brought in, but he never did because he had such a big timing offense. But Noah was a special dude. Now, I forgot, why did you ask me this question, to draw a comparison to Kyle?
Yeah, because a lot of people have compared Kyle to Norv, and Norv had so much success as an offensive coach and was hailed as a genius, but then, outside of 1 year in San Diego, he really kind of struggled as a head coach.
Right. But then Norv never got as far as Cal has already gotten twice. So, I mean,
right.
How is that, right? You know what I mean? Cal's gotten championship games and Super Bowls. He's gotten Super Bowls a couple times. He did it as coordinator, of course, but I'm talking about as a head coach.
Right.
So you know what I mean? And I thought, and I do too, I think Noah certainly could have been a great head coach. Did he really ever have his quarterback? Outside of Troy Aikman, I would have liked his quarterback that fit his skill set. Now Philip Rivers that fit his skill set and what he was trying to do at the time, what we were doing in Dallas.
Everybody's looking for a Michael Irvin. Luckily, our Michael Irvin is the Michael Irvin, which means our Michael Irvin is better than most. That's for sure. What are you gassing up here? Like, what's Michael Irvin pulling up to gas up at this station?
Well, okay, I just landed from New York, right? So I landed from New York, but I have a dinner meeting with some business partners that I have to go to. So I land, my car will pick me up. My driver will pick me up. I will have my brother meet me with the G-Wagon. And I took the G-Wagon and got to the gas station, gassed up. Now I'll go to the dinner.
Nice. Now, do you make your brother drive for you too?
No. No, let me tell you what. Now. And one time, let me tell you, one time I did try. I gave my brother a job. His job was his only job. His only job now, and just to pick me up and drive me to the station. This is when I was doing an everyday radio station. So, because I wanted, and it was about a 40-minute drive, so I wanted to get some work time in. So I said, okay, you just drive me and pick me up. Man, this joke, he did it for about the first week. And the second week, I'm sitting up, man, I almost missed my show waiting on that joke. I said, okay, yes, I can't give him this kind of a job. I'm trying to give him something to get him going. I said, it can't be a job that requires some real responsibilities that could mess with everything. But yeah, so it was funny, man. I did give him that job.
That's great. Here, I got to let you go with this only because it turned into a story this week that Daniel Snyder says he's got, enough to blackmail other NFL owners, with Jerry Jones maybe even being at the top of that list. At what point does Jerry Jones have Daniel Snyder killed?
I know. And look how quick we laugh about it. But, boy, it's old saying. Somebody says sometimes, they say, I'm joking. But I ain't lying. I'm joking, but I ain't lying. So we joke about it. But that is something, man. And I'm sure all of them know something about all of them.
Right.
It's just where would they really go with it and tear down or try to tear down. And I heard him say, rock the NFL. I don't know if you can rock the NFL. And you know what I mean? Yeah, it'll be bad, black eye and everything. I'm talking about, I just don't know if people are going to start watching the game.
Nothing makes us turn out. People will complain about the quarterback who suffered a concussion that has scared America, and they'll complain about it, and they won't even think of turning the game off, not for a second.
Right. But let me help with this too, because when we get those old bad calls that everybody goes crazy about, and I was like, I'm kind of with them protecting the quarterback. I said, Michael, what do you mean, Michael? It was a bad quarterback. I said, yes, it was a bad call. You're right. But let me just say this: if they don't protect the quarterback, all the football we're going to have is the football we had last Thursday night. That should be reason enough to protect the quarterback. That was the worst thing I'd ever seen on TV last Thursday night. I don't want to.
That was really, really bad. Michael, I got to ask you one question I've been waiting years to ask you. When Jimmy rode off and Jimmy and Jerry couldn't get along, and you guys already had the 2 rings, eventually you got the one more with Switzer. If that had not happened and Jimmy just stayed and somehow you guys just kept doing your thing, I know the cap came and that's a big factor as well, but how many rings do you think you guys could have won together if Jimmy had stayed?
Not one meal. Not one meal. Not one meal. Not one gathering. Not one conversation. Not one time that we are around each other that we don't say that and ask ourselves those same questions. I'm talking like Jimmy included.
Yeah.
And I just saw Jimmy at the anniversary in Miami last weekend when we were celebrating our 35th championship year anniversary. 35 years. I left college 35 years ago. I said, why would y'all want to remind people of this? Why would y'all want to remind people that they're this old, that we left school 35 years ago? It's amazing. But it's crazy.
They would have won a little more, that's for sure.
We would have won a little more. We talk about we would have definitely won those 3 in a row and possibly 5 or 6. And even more so now, honestly, you want it even much more because now you see what other people have come after you and done.
Sure.
Like the Patriots, but you can't go back.
You're the man. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for joining us. He's still running away from defenders. He's got people coming up to him in the gas station. He's warding them off, little hand checking. He stays open all the time. Michael, thank you.
Beamer, I wish I would have had the gall. Or like I said, you could change that letter if you want to say what I was thinking last week. I really do, because I don't know why I was just worried about it, man. I had a gut about it, and then while I'm watching that game, I said I should have said it. You know what I mean? We'd have just discussed it, but I should have said it, and maybe we could have set them on a worry. Like, hey, I better watch out. I don't know, but I thought about it.
There you go. Whenever you got to put us on red alert, you never hesitate.
Yeah, I should have just done that. That's right. I should have done.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
You're the man. He is fantastic. Michael Irvin for his weekly conversation here. Somebody, 707, said, could you drop Kyle's fourth quarter stats when trailing on the playmaker? He'll lose his mind. It's not good. Kyle has never won a game as a head coach trailing by 4 or more points after the third quarter.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.